Check her out. Look at them fields, one lonely farmer. And look at that fire.
Little Miss says that that's her kind of bonfire.
Rolling. We're doing a little red Dixie cup.
Red Solo cup. It's got my sweet tea.
Oh, is that what it is? Well, now it's Sunday after church. And I'm out here in the garage and it's pretty darn chilly. It got cold last night, like 28 degrees. And I realize that's not cold for you folks who live at the North Pole. But it's cold for us. So I'm going to open the door and warm it up a little. And then I'm going to put this front end back together. And then maybe retard the timing a little bit. What I need to do is figure out how to take a little total timing out of it and leave the base timing where it is. That's what I need to do. It's got a Mallory distributor in it. Should have figured that out a long time ago, but I didn't. I need to figure that out. It's got a little detonation at wide open throttle on warm days. And that's not good for rod bearings and so on. Alright, I put my little black gloves on and been doing some cleaning. I got some bearings cleaned up for the driver's side. Cleaned up the rotors. Cleaned the grease out from inside them. And somewhere here I got more bearings. Oh yeah, there they are. Everything's pretty clean, and now I'm going to try out my bearing packer. I guess what you need to do is scoop up some grease and stick it in the bottom. And then you put that thing in there. You put your bearing on it, and you screw that thing down. And then shove it down, and it should grease it. I've always done it the old-fashioned way. If I'm screwing this up, Chevaholic, please say something before I mess up here. Hey, I think it's working. Look at it squirting all the old nasty grease out. That's pretty sweet, huh? You remember that time I made you do it in the palm of your hand? I got it on video. Alright, here's my review of the thing. I like it. Requires some pretty intense pressure downward to squeeze that grease through, which means a little feller here wouldn't be able to do it, at least not for a couple more years. He's got to keep eating his Wheaties. And you'd be amazed. You think you get them bearings clean, but there's a bunch of grease left inside there, and that pushes it right out. So that's a good thing. I like it. Well, I guess our days of scratching out in our hand are over. It's progress. It's like entering the 20th century. Alright, now I got to put the seals in. As usual, my handy little seal driver kit there doesn't have a thing the right size, so we'll gently do it with a hammer. And then I'll be ready to put the rotors on. What you working on there, pal?
Working on putting together a dinosaur.
How you doing?
It isn't coming along like it says it will. You see, there's some pretty advanced instructions there.
Oh yeah? Well, you know, a real man doesn't ever look at the instructions.
But how on earth am I supposed to figure out all these pieces?
Deductive reasoning? Looks like it's coming along pretty good to me. So, we got that side done. Now we just got to finish the passenger side, which is a little bit of a tighter spot. But that's okay, I can still fit. And then we'll have to put the wheels on. Alright, we're fixing to put the wheels on. Actually, we have put one wheel on. But I want to point something out here. These are ET wheels. They're pretty old wheels from the late 70s or early 80s probably. But you've got to use this type of washer. You can get them offset to the one side or the other or in the center. In this case we need the ones with a hole in the center. And then you've got to use that kind of nut. They are available, you got to hunt for them online. Don't be tempted to use those cheap mag wheel nuts and washers you see at the parts store. Your wheels will fall off. Which is not much fun because I've had that happen before. Well, the axle came out too. There's a GM and C-clip fell out and found it stuck in a tree down the road a while later. But anyway, that's another story. I'll tell it to you someday.
Okay.
Did you have a nice nap?
Till I got woke up.
Is that your bed head?
Yeah. My curls from our homecoming.
Alright, I've been out here slaving away while you've been in the house sleeping. Alright, we got her sitting on the ground. And now I'm going to torque those wheels lug nuts with a breaker bar evenly and consistently. Don't want to put those on the impact because those are just soft aluminum wheels and don't want to booger them up. Right?
Right.
I'm going to start this old truck here. You can call it what you want to. Still runs. Alright, I'm gonna move it out of the way so I can get the Firebird out. Huh?
I don't think you intended that to be on the floor.
I can't hear you. The air compressor's running.
I don't think you intended for that to be on the floor.
No, I didn't. Alright, we're gonna fire this one up too. It's 55 degrees. Uh-oh. Ain't gonna start with a dead battery. The boy left the key on when I had him turning the wheels. Well, with a little help from the battery charger, it's running. I think we'll take it out and warm it up. Maybe cool the timing a little. Hard to get tired of that. Well, we went for a ride. The brakes work good, but we still got something going on. I think maybe on that wheel. I think we got a wheel bearing or something. We'll have to jack it up and check it out, but I don't believe I'll do it tonight. Maybe I will. Alright, here we are. I couldn't stand it. I had to jack it up and see. Under the Firebird. But a few observations. One is, yep, that's coming from the pinion. Pinion seal's leaking pretty good. Little drip forming there. And secondly, if I can hold this light resting on my head or something. Joints a little sloppy, not only in the cross, but the cap's a little loose in the yoke. feel anything bad there, side to side, but we're fairly warm here. And then, not hot, but fairly warm. I only drove it maybe, I don't know, 8 miles or so. And that brake drum's a good bit warmer than that brake drum. So, I think it bears some investigation. But I'm kind of hungry, so I don't guess I'll do it tonight. Maybe I'll slide up there and look at the transmission while I'm under here. Looks like the seal on the tail shaft's a little wet too. Maybe after I get home from work, I'll tear it apart a little bit and see what's up. Somebody asked me what kind of mufflers. There you go, Thrush. There's the subframe connectors where they're welded in place. And over there you can see that shiny thing, that's the aluminum body bushings. Never had any trouble with that rear end before, but looks like it has begun. It's a 10 bolt. This engine does make a little horsepower, although I don't abuse it too much. Not like you would drag racing or anything. I just like to feel it once in a while, if you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll see what's up with it. Hope this isn't too bad. Well, that's a little bit of a bummer, but if you're gonna mess with old cars, you gotta expect it. Especially if you turn up the wick just a little.